always like to say there's a bull market somewhere, and I promise
Mad Money. You can't afford to miss it.
Coming up, rapid results. OraSure Technologies is a leader in diagnostic testing products, and they're about to launch the first ever over-the-counter at-home HIV test. Cramer's getting instant answers on this new opportunity in biotech when he talks with the company's CEO next.
We are always looking for new opportunities here on Mad Money, especially in a market like this one where so many stocks have run so much. That's why I want to introduce you to one of the most intriguing speculative stories around. It's called OraSure Technologies, OSUR for all you home gamers. OraSure is a tiny healthcare outfit. Tiny is described by our show, market cap of just $590 million, $10 and change stock. Company makes products for collecting saliva samples, and more important, they make proprietary saliva-based diagnostic tests for diseases like hepatitis C. We've talked to you over and over again about how big and unfortunately bad that is, and HIV, as opposed to more invasive blood or urine-based tests that people are less likely to take. OraSure came out with the first and only rapid hepatitis C test on the market. It's a pretty big deal. Billion-dollar opportunity. Then this summer, we got the real game changer. At the beginning of July, the FDA approved OraSure's rapid over-the-counter HIV test, and the company plans to launch the product October. You heard me right. OraSure has an HIV test that you can actually buy over the counter, the only one of its kind, and this one could make a major difference in the fight against HIV/AIDS, since it could go a long way toward helping to diagnose the hundreds of thousands of Americans who aren't aware they have the disease. Plus, of course, it could also make a big difference for OraSure, given that the company believes the market for over-the-counter HIV tests could only be worth 500 million smackers. And that's why the stock spiked up to $13.36 in the news. Since then, it's pulled back $10.71, below where it was when the FDA approved its over-the-counter HIV test, in part because a week after the FDA gave the go-ahead, the company did a big secondary offering, sold $75 million worth of stock at $12.30. OraSure has become a battleground. The analysts have wildly divergent views over how well next month's product launch will go, and the stock is admittedly quite expensive, especially when you consider that OraSure isn't expected to turn a profit until 2014. That said, this is a very compelling story, particularly down here, which is why I want to dig deeper before I make a decision. So let's check in with Doug Michels. He's the president and CEO of OraSure Technologies. Find out more about his company and its prospects. Mr. Michels, welcome to Mad Money.
Hey, Jim.
Have a seat. Thank you, sir.
Show.
All right, so I go to Walgreens, I go to CVS next week. What am I going to see?
Well, hopefully you're going to see that product on the shelf. We began shipping to retailers just last Friday and Saturday, and obviously the product now is in transit between our distribution center and the retailers' DCs, and then they have to get it out to the stores. It's going to be out in more than 30,000 stores, as well as available online.
Now, on your most recent presentation, which I urge everyone should go to, is the Global Life Science UBS. You've got every detail in there. You talk about how the stores themselves are going to get behind this. I presume, therefore, I'm going to maybe see a display. We don't know which ones, but this will be readily visible. This is not just going to be in some aisle where you're just going to be tucked away.
No, absolutely, Jim. The response from retailers has been extraordinarily positive. I mentioned that the product's going to be in 30,000 stores. The retailers are actually cutting the product in off-cycle. You know, normally they reset their stores twice a year.
Right.
It's going in right now. And then we're giving the retailers a couple weeks to get the product on shelf, get all the signage right. And then we're going to go out with our consumer communications here in a couple weeks and build awareness about the product's availability and promote trial and repeat purchase.
Is that advertising certain websites, TV? I mean, how far are you going to go with this?
Well, we're going to do all the above.
Okay.
Initially, we're going to work with the retailers to do a lot of in-store promotion. We're going to be out there on websites, big digital campaign. We're going to have a big launch event in New York City in a couple of weeks. We're going to use celebrity to get on a lot of the different talk shows.
People who have HIV?
Well, we haven't disclosed what celebrities we're going to use, but suffice it to say they're going to be well known. They're going to tell the story about how important it is for people to know their HIV status, and now with the first FDA-approved test that you can take in the comfort and privacy of your home, there's really no excuse why people shouldn't know their HIV status.
You think there's still lots of people who've been afraid to go to a clinic because they believe that information will not be kept confidential? They do it at home and therefore they know it is?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why people might not go to the doctor and request an HIV test. Certainly there's still a lot of stigma associated with HIV. You know, there's about 1.2 million people infected with HIV here in the United States, Jim, and about 20 to 25% of those individuals are unaware that they're infected. And what's most concerning is it's those individuals who are infected but unaware, they're responsible for 50 to 70% of the forward transmission.
Okay.
So our objective is to put as many tools out there as we can to make it easier for people to know their HIV status.
Now, do you envision a world where, not to be too graphic, but someone has unprotected sex and is concerned, they would then go to the drugstore and get this within 72 hours of...
Well, so we've spent a lot of time making sure that consumers could understand the appropriate use of this product. This product is not designed to detect infection immediately after someone is infected, but it's exactly the same technology that's used in doctors' office, hospitals, and in the public health market that's been used for the last 10 years. Jim, this is the market-leading rapid HIV test here in the United States, and now we're making it available direct to consumers.
Okay. Our show has been focused primarily on hepatitis C as the unfortunately biggest opportunity out there in medicine. You've got a test for it, but you just don't think it's... I mean, you talk about it as a billion-dollar opportunity, but it's not as big for your company as this will be?
Well, we haven't said that, okay?
All right, good.
The hepatitis C opportunity is every bit as exciting as this product's availability over the counter. Hepatitis C is about 5 times more prevalent than HIV here in the United States. There's about 4 to 5 million people infected with hepatitis C, and up to 2/3 of those individuals are unaware of their infection. There's a huge reservoir of undetected infection in our age group, within the baby boomer population.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. When I go to my doctor, should I be asking for a Hep C test?
Well, you can certainly ask for it, and I think that's a good practice. The CDC just recommended that all baby boomers, everybody born between 1945 and 1965, be tested for hepatitis C. And there's about 80 million of us.
And that's your product that we'll be using.
Absolutely. And it's a 20-minute test. It's highly accurate. It's laboratory accurate, and it's out in the market right now.
Last thing, Ancestry.com, we had the CEO on. It was a big TV show. You've got a product, a genetic product, another total division, different division that is going to be, that is an Ancestry.com related product. Right?
That's correct. So last year, around this time, we acquired a company, DNA Genotek, in Ottawa, Canada. And they are the market leader in oral collection systems for molecular diagnostics. Ancestry.com uses their product and makes it available to their members so that they can get better information about their genealogy. There's another consumer-oriented company called 23andMe, which provides a consumer service for people who want to know what their genetic profile is and any potential risks that they might.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was a great idea too. Particularly people who are, childbearing age might want to know.
Absolutely.
Now, the last thing I want to do, this is unusual for me because I don't want to, I don't want to embarrass you, but you are a total heavy hitter in the diagnostic industry. This is not a company that just, look, it's been around for a while, but Mr. Michels spent 19 years at J&J, 7 years with Abbott Labs. You ran Ortho Clinical Diagnostics. So this is a business. Why did you leave? This is what I wanted to ask you. Those are the 2 best diagnostics companies in the country, I think. Why did you leave them to go to OraSure?
I thoroughly enjoyed my experience both with Abbott and Johnson & Johnson, 2 of the finest companies in the world.
Right. I mean,
and I had a great career with those companies. I was approached by the board of directors at OraSure Technologies, and they talked to me about the promise of these technologies, about the opportunities to really make a big impact on public health, and I said, let's do it.
Well, it does sound like a pretty big opportunity. I want to thank you. That's Doug Michels, President and CEO of OraSure Technologies. Guys, UBS Global Life Science Conference, I got it off the web. They've got the absolute best up-to-date information from Mr. Michels. I want you to do the homework before you take a shot or get a big investment in this position. After the break, I'll try to make you even more money.